Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is having a great day. And in today's video, we are going to be doing an analysis on the Disney stock, also known with the ticker symbol DIS. So this stock recently jumped up 10% today. And just for some disclosure, I am a shareholder of Disney. I do have a reasonable amount of my portfolio allocated to this stock. I am a strong believer in this stock, but today the purpose of this video is to just go over Disney right now. We're going to take into account a lot of what's going on with the stock and to determine if the stock is still a buy. Now, this is not to say that I don't think it's a buy. It's just, is it Disney stock a buy at this price? And do I think that the company can go a lot longer in this current environment of the market? Or should you wait a little bit before actually buying into the stock? Now, just to put my investment strategy out there, I am a fundamental investor who looks for dividend stocks, and I look to hold a stock long term, meaning that when I put my money into a company, I am planning on putting it there for 20 years plus. So that being said, I have owned Disney stock for over 2 years. Ever since I turned 18, this was one of the first companies that I invested in. So let's take a look at what Disney has to offer. We're going to take a look at all of the segments. And maybe from this video, you can also just take into account how I analyze an investment and how you can maybe learn to invest in stocks. So the first thing that I'll do is if I'm looking at a company, I will go to their website. Now, this is helpful for some reasons because you can see the management, and they also just list all of their filings. So they list their 10Ks, their 10Qs. They even have some really helpful presentations just to highlight some of the things that the company's struggling with, as well as they can highlight their sales. They can highlight everything that's going on in that fiscal year or that quarter. So the first place I always start out is the website. And what I like to do is I like to go to their investor relations. So here you're going to see at the top investor relations, and this is with almost any publicly traded company. So you can go to their website and go to their investor relations. If you can't find it on their homepage, you can always go to Google, search that company and search investor relations after that, and you will be brought up. So here we have Disney's page, and you'll see that they have almost every company on their investor relations page, they'll list the stock price. You can check the 5 years, the 1 year, the 6 months, and this is pretty helpful. But then what you get to down here is you get to what's really helpful, the 10Ks, the 10Qs, all of the filings for a company. And this is where you can see how much revenue they're making. You can see each segment of the business. You can see what's losing money. So this is just a very helpful place to start looking for some information. Now, I will say that the information can get kind of boring because you're going to be looking through a lot of different things. But what you want to look for is sometimes you might not look for a quarter. You might look for what's called the fiscal year. So sometimes you're going to be searching on a quarter by quarter basis. Sometimes you might want to search by a yearly basis. So they'll also have like these presentations, these PowerPoints. And what I have here is I have their quarter one for the year 2019 because their quarter two has not been posted yet. So we can see right here that this is their overall thesis. This is their overall summary of the business. And they're going to list their revenue. Then they're going to break it down by segments. And then they're just going to overall highlight each segment, what they plan to do, and overall their strategy. Now, the reason that I want to bring up Disney today is you'll see that they're up over 10%, almost 11% in one day. And yes, long term, like I said, I have full disclosure, I do own Disney stock. I have averaged down to around $102. But the reason that I like Disney stock and the reason that it's up right now is because they just announced their new streaming platform called Disney Plus. Now, Disney is such a wide company, such a vast company, and they own Pixar, they own almost a lot of different streaming services. They own the rights to a lot of different characters, different movies. They own Marvel. So their streaming platform is going to host many, many different things. You're going to have Star Wars. You're going to have the Pixar movies, the Disney films. You're going to have the actual stuff that was on Netflix, all of the Marvel movies. So they're not going to be able to recreate The Punisher or Daredevil just right yet. They're not going to be able to continue those shows because they worked out a deal with Netflix for the next 2 years that they can't do that. But Disney has a lot of value, not just in their parks and not just in their actual real estate and not just in physical assets, but in the rights and the patents and everything else on certain things. So the Disney brand itself is also very valuable. So that is why I think the stock is great for long term. Now, as a dividend investor, I don't think this is the best dividend stock because they only offer a 1.5% dividend and it also pays out annually. So if you're looking for quarterly dividend or free cash flow, this is really not the best stock. I just think in the long term, this company is great. Now, the reason that I bought into them is, like I said, I bought into them a couple of years back when they were talking about doing all of this Disney Plus and they were talking about having their own streaming service. And they just announced that they're going to be doing it today at a price of $6.99 for a month or $70 for a year. So I think it's very affordable. And while this might not, make people switch off of Netflix to Disney Plus, I think it's at a very good and competitive price range where people who are signed up for Netflix are now also going to sign up for Disney because they have so many different Hallmark movies. They have so many different great titles underneath their belt that they can then host on this platform. So now just to go over some other segments of the business, they also have ESPN, and ESPN was struggling a little bit in the past, but they are predicted to by 2024, you'll see right here. So their subscriptions are picking up and they have UFC, they also have basketball and other stuff. So overall, ESPN does offer a lot of value, and I do think that in the future, it will pick up. Now, the other segment that I really want to talk about Disney is that Disney owns Hulu. Why this is so important is because Netflix has been taking the world by storm. Just look at how many subscribers the company has been picking up in the past. It is crazy how fast the company is growing, and Disney is really posed to just take advantage of that monthly subscription service for online and streaming entertainment. Apple is also very in a very good position to take that. So is Amazon, also Google. But the real players that I think are Disney, and the reason Disney I think can take a large majority of that market is, like I said, they own the rights to those movies. They have those movies, those characters, but they also have the platform to deliver it. So this is kind of like vertical and horizontal integration all in one. They own all the way, and then they can also deliver it to the consumer through Hulu, where they own, you'll see right here, Disney has a 60% stake, and now through their Disney Plus streaming service. So they have a great exposure to the streaming sort of market. Next, also just to bring up Hulu subscribers. So they have around 25 million subscribers. 2 million of those are current trial basis, but that's still a huge number. And Hulu, I remember back when Hulu was not even that good. Currently, Hulu has been doing a lot of campaigns, a lot of advertising. You might see them on YouTube. You might see them on Facebook. They've been doing a lot of customer acquisition tactics, and it's been working. They're getting better, and I think overall Disney is in a great position to compete with Netflix. So that's overall what I look for when I'm analyzing a company. I look for what's going on with the company. I look at what they're struggling with. So now to go back to their right here, you'll see what their segments are broken down into. So let's look at their fiscal quarter. In December of 2019, they reported that they had made $15,303 million. That is down actually from the year prior to that. It's not down by a lot, but still around 49 million dollars. So it's not a lot, but it still does count bad towards the company because you want to see a company that is growing. You want to see steady growth for the company. But like I said, for a company that's this big, you're not really going to see as much growth for this company, and you're more going to see stuff that is going to be more stagnation, but you want to see consistency in this company. So overall, not a big change. What I would do for this is I would actually go back to previous years to just get an idea of what's going on. So a great resource that you can use is Yahoo, and we can go to their financials section for the Disney company, and here you'll see the revenue for the past 3 years. So we have 2018, so the past 4 years, and we had 24, we had 25, we had 24, and we had 26 gross profit, and then total revenue was 59, 55, 55. So overall, you can see that there is a growing trend in Disney for their profit, and they have so many different revenue streams. They have their streaming, they have their content, they have their parks, they have their brands. So they have so much different revenue streams, so much stuff that's bringing in money. Overall, you can also just take a look at their earnings. You can get a little snapshot here. But another thing that I like to take a look at is you can take a look at their balance sheet. So how much money or how much debt they actually have. So we can look at their total current assets, And then we can also see their total assets are 98 billion. We have their total liabilities are 44 billion. Another great place that you can look for is the statistics. So here you get a look at what all of their ratios are. So for the forward PE is actually supposed to go up. So they're predicted to not be as profitable in the future. But we have a price to earnings to growth ratio of around 7. So the growth is supposed to stagnate. That's what a lot of analysts are thinking. Price to sales of 4. You have a price to book of around 4. So overall, the company is fairly valued and I think is in a great position for value investors. And right now, Disney has been relatively stagnant for the past. So that's why I think it's also a great buy. It is, like I said, it just jumped 10%. But overall, even with that price increase, I still think Disney is a buy, especially after a price jumps up 10%. It's probably going to go down in the future in the coming weeks because investors are now going to sell off who have held it for a while. So, you just got a dollar cost average. In terms of revenue, like we said, they have around 59 billion. In terms of debt, they have around 20 billion debt on their balance sheet. But for a company that's this big and they've been around for this long, it's not something that I'm really concerned about. So like I said, Disney has a lot of segments. So like I said, we can go back to their balance sheet and you can go to their revenues, and here we have what they're doing. So you have their media networks. So they got 6 billion around, or 5 billion 900 million this quarter. They have their parks and experiences and consumer products, their studio entertainment, and then they have their direct to consumer. And then it looks like they lost money in one of their segments, but overall they are doing quite well. So a very diversified business, a very long business, long term. They've been around for a while and they're also well managed. So if you want to get a look at the company's history, you can always take a look at their Wikipedia page. You can also just look at the company's 10Qs. You can go back 20 years, take a look at those 10Qs, the 10Ks. And that's just overall how I analyze a stock. So from my opinion, I do think Disney stock is still a buy. I am going to be buying into it because overall, I think it's a very good valuable play, and I'm going to be adding it to my Roth IRA. And long term, I would want to hold Disney stock for 20, 30 years down the line. This is a company that has the brand. They're going to be there for the future. They are constantly updating. Like they have the Marvel stuff. That Marvel stuff was not there 10 years ago. And just think about how much money that brought in. And now they have more money coming in just from the streaming service. So they are in a great position to take advantage of technology and emerging markets. So thank you guys for watching. I really hope that you guys did enjoy this video. I hope that you were able to learn something and also just take a little analysis of Disney, and maybe you can come to your own conclusion about whether or not you want to purchase this stock. And also you can just get a look at how I invest and just how I sort of analyze a market. Obviously, there are a lot of things I didn't cover, such as dividends. I didn't go over the earnings. There are a lot of things that I didn't cover because those stuff do take a lot more time. Like to go over every single 10K for the past 5 years, that's something that you might do if you really want to consider and dive into the investment. Also, just look at where the company's headed. You can look at the people who are heading it, so the CEO and all of the management. But overall, this is just the general idea of what I do when I'm considering if I want to put my money into a stock. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more stock videos. This is definitely something that I would consider making, but just let me know what you guys thought about it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.